Okay, my name is Raymond Foster. I'm the immediate past president of the Rotary Club of San Dimas and tonight de facto chair of the Satellite Rotary Club of Military Family Support. First thing we do every meeting to begin it is go around the spokes and see who's got here on time. Let's first begin with Glenn Johnson. Say hello, Glenn.
Hello, Glenn. My name is Glenn Johnson. I'm a member of the Satellite Rotary Club.
And then the club secretary.
Hi, Isabella Foster, second year and second generation Rotarian of Satellite Rotary Club. Excuse my tiny human.
Awesome. And I see that Dominic's he's connecting. So as soon as we get him in here and get going, we will turn it over to him. But I really want to talk about what happened as we go forward. Hey, Dominic, so are you all ready to go, brother? I'll turn it back over to you.
I am 100% in.
All
Took
right.
a minute to get logged in there, but it worked out.
Well, say hello. We've already gone around the spokes and talked to everybody.
Perfect. That's what I love. I love it already. Good. I couldn't open the new attachment you sent me, Raymond.
All right. So okay, so you don't have the agenda. That's great. Let's just
No, I have it now. It wasn't opening. It was taking a while. So,
I see.
Where are we at? The welcome by me?
Yes.
Perfect. We already did the spokes. All right, everybody knows who I am. I'm Dominic. Wonderful. Did you do the guest, Raymond?
We haven't got to the guest. We were going to talk about the food drive and then the guest.
All right. Love it. Okay. Food drive, that was the committee reports, I thought.
Well, let's put it at the front here because it's going to lead into.
You got it done and done. All right. You all right there?
Can you see?
Yeah, I just saw you going crazy there for a second. Yeah, so okay, so we're gonna jump right into 29. The old 29 Palms resupply went fantastic. Glenn and Raymond and I slid everything out. We had obviously kick off the Thursday prior. Saturday in the rain, they manned it all down, which looked fantastic. And then on 7 a.m., the three of us wheeled it all out. Had a lot of fun with our new truck driver. I don't know which would refer to him other than that. That was fun. And then we got it. And then Raymond told me a bunch of funny stories. And then we were able to get everything loaded up and get over there. Had a couple of hiccups, try to get on base. Next time we'll get ourselves a sheriff's or deputy, I guess, to help us get in there. But other than that, everyone was wonderful. They did have 17 or so Marines. We were able to offload the 3 tons of food, which between food, diapers, wipes, all that kind of stuff, went fantastic. We had a lot of folks from Holy Name. They're Stripes and Stars, or what was their organization called?
Stars and Stripes. That's their Stars and Stripes Military Ministry.
Got it. So that's out of Holy Name of Mary, which was wonderful. And obviously donated the truck again, which is fantastic. It was wonderful. Patrick was very thankful. We between roughly about 3 tons of food, and then you said it was about 170-ish dollars worth of gift cards.
$175 in gift cards, and totally we got in just over $2,000 in donations. As soon as we get all the receipts together for what it cost us to do that, we'll write Patrick a check for the remainder.
Fantastic. So it went fantastic. Had lunch with them. It was wonderful. Got to learn a little bit more about the folks that are fixing the radios that I once was using on that base. So that was a good time. Hung out with the staff sergeant. Got to learn a lot. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'll refer to Raymond. What other than all those other things that were definitely not our hiccups? Anything else I missed there?
When we get down to committee reports, we'll talk about March 9th when we start because we're starting to arrange the second one. But yeah, I just wanted to get that. That's a good. You did good. It's good. We're good.
All right, fantastic. Well, then I love that. We don't have any guests this evening other than our actual speaker themselves. So with that said, as I like to always say, I don't like to read your whole profile out, so I will throw it over to CalGuard Family Programs, Technical Sergeant Emerald Serey, we'll say, from California Air National Guard.
You actually said it right. Thanks.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, hello, and yes, I am Technical Sergeant Emerald Serey, but only for 2 days a month. Yeah, so but I'm here to talk to you mostly about what I do Monday through Friday, which is I manage the Military and Family Readiness Program for the Guard unit on March Air Reserve Base here in California. I like to be able to do what I do, especially because I've lived the experiences. You know, I have every experience is, you know, different, but I joined the Air National Guard when it was like 2006, at a unit in Ohio. And then 6 years later I came out here to California, and I couldn't leave. And I ended up getting a full-time position doing what I do now, for our unit, and I've deployed with them a couple times. So I've been through deployments in various circumstances. Um, and I absolutely love what I do. A big part of what I do is outreach and communicating, connecting with the community and any resources we have. I think a unique thing that we come across being Air National Guard is that active duty has a full military and family readiness center, and they have people like there's a financial counselor, they have a family life counselor, they have like different people doing all these different jobs where we only have two people in our office. I'm full time, and I have a person, luckily, that I was able to hire on. Not everybody has two people. So we largely rely on our community and reaching out to outside sources because our people are mostly civilian. But if their civilian lives are not good, then they can't better serve the mission. So we have to make sure their personal lives are on track and they're good financially and mentally, spiritually, all that. And honestly, the easiest, quickest way to describe what I do during the week for our airmen and families is just anything that's impacting their quality of life or their loved ones' quality of life is something that I help them with. I want to say the two largest things is finances and childcare, and lately, to my surprise, like basic needs have been something I've had to figure out for some of our airmen. And being here in California, of course, everything's like exaggerated. Like financially, the economy it's kind of a lot for our people, depending on what their civilian career is. So, yeah, so we help doing that right now. I know you guys were talking about a awesome drive that you did. It looks like a food drive, and you had like baby items and things like that. Right now, we do have a relationship, I guess you could say, with Feeding America. So every now and again, we'll be able to get food boxes with non-perishables. It's great, and I'm grateful that we have it. It is kind of inconsistent. So I'm just expanding my horizons here and trying to see who all we can connect with and any ideas we can get moving forward to support our airmen, because I feel like the challenges with their personal lives and the economy and finances are not probably going to get better anytime soon. So I'm trying to plan ahead and see how I can support our airmen. And that's essentially what I do in a nutshell. There's more. I give briefings, benefits briefings, and things like that. I brief our commanders, and I also coordinate with our the 452nd Air Mobility Wing. So that's our host unit. The reservists, there's a large population on the base. We're kind of a small tenant unit. But that's essentially what I do, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have about what we do and what we're planning for the future.
Okay, yeah. So we, like I said, the food drive, like we do it twice a year, and it's for obviously for 29 Palms. It's a fantastic opportunity. And to what you're saying about what you do for the Air Force, I think Raymond actually really put it the best. On a Thursday, he said, you know, the idea of us raising this food is allowing for the Marines and sailors that are on this particular base to no longer have to worry about food next Wednesday when they're deployed for their family. So that's we can relate on that subject because that's what we're looking at to accomplish. So yes, it's quite the interesting way of trying to get it done. The city of San Dimas and then other groups have been wonderful between Raymond sending out letters, things of that nature, to do it. But that's where Raymond could definitely jump in because he has a lot of experience with it because he was doing this before I came on.
Okay.
I got some
So
questions.
Raymond.
I got some questions for you. Is it okay to call you Emerald?
Oh yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
A couple of, do you have a region that you're responsible for? Are you broken up? Because I see that Air Guard's you got like 5 or 6 locations. Do you have regions, or how do you work that out?
Yeah, we're kind of all over. There's only 4 of us that do what I do for the Air National Guard. We tried to hire a 5th for the 195th wing, but that has its own set of challenges. I only support, and I'll say only, I mean primarily support March Air Reserve Base Air National Guard Tenant Unit. So the 163rd Attack Wing. I primarily support them. We do have a detachment, for instance, that's technically belongs to the 144th, but they're located on our installation. I serve those folks as well. So I help them like go through the TAP program and things like that. And I guess that's also something that's not talked about a lot, military and family readiness. We do have our primary people that we focus on, especially when it comes to deployments, when our people are deploying. But we also can help veterans. I've had veterans come to my office and I've helped them. And then also people, when they come through my office to retire, I give them a retirement briefing from my office. I let them know, just because you're leaving doesn't mean we still don't support you. And when you don't know who to talk to, or you're having trouble accessing or communicating with somebody in regard to your career or your life in general, that they can still come back to us and talk to us. But yeah, it's primarily the 163rd Attack Wing. And then we have somebody at Channel Islands. We have somebody at Fresno. And then we have somebody up there at Moffett and San Jose. That's just kind of how we do it. But we can expand a little bit outside of that. It's just we have our primary units.
So I got a couple of questions for you. We currently we've adopted the Pelican Pantry on the 29 Palms Marine Corps base. And so that's for junior enlisted families. And we've taken about over 13 tons of food and supplies to them in 18 months. And we've pretty much got it down to a rhythm. And we're going to be going out to talk to Pendleton in November. And we've been in conversations with Irwin, because what we're trying to do is we have a list now of 900 organizations, 969 that are willing to give to these food drives. That's how big the list is. The problem is getting it to a location and getting it distributed properly. So what we're looking for is someplace here in either the West Inland Empire or East San Gabriel Valley that we can divide these organizations up and say, well, okay, women's clubs, it's your February, Marine Corps leagues, your April, and we can have food coming into one location, because then we can ship it out to the bases, but we can now make it available to Guard personnel, because the issue of food insecurity for Guard, reservists, and veterans is just as big as it is for active duty. So we'd like to keep you in the loop for, we need a couple of, how many square feet of space do we need, Glenn? 10,000 square feet, 15,000 square feet?
I would say 10.
The more you give me, the more I'll fill it up. So the second thing is, and just I want to let you know about that. Second thing is, if you thought about this, I've been at the gas company is just bugging the heck out of me. They want to give a utility fare for veterans and Guard personnel and military personnel, because there are so many discount programs that people are unaware of that they may, if you're able to get SNAP, then you're able to get onto these low-cost utility programs. Would having an educational fair be something you'd be interested in participating in with us?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would be wonderful. And like I said, there's actually a lot of resources out there, like tons. So I find, but it's just educating people on it, and the awareness is a challenge. And not only that, educating the service members, but their families. Because a lot of times the service members let me focus on this, my job, and the family a lot of the times is the one remembering these things, and encouraging them to take advantage of these resources that they have available to them. So yeah, I would love to have to be a part of something like that. That'd be great.
Because what I would ask you to do is for the next few months, keep a list on your desk of the common questions you're asked. And then what I would like to do is to have a day where we bring a lot of people onto Zoom, and we ask them we find the expert on whatever the question you had from somebody is. And we cut a 3-minute portion off of Zoom. We make that its own standalone video, and we give you a video library that we can make available to people statewide on commonly asked questions from experts saying, here's how you get the gas company rate reduction. Here's where this thing is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Well, we could use your help in that. So I'm going to monopolize your time unless somebody else has a question.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a fantastic point, Raymond. That is a video library where people can just be thrown to be able to go step by step. Maybe we do it as a shared screen thing so they can literally walk through it and go, okay, this is what it is. Fantastic. Or questions to ask an operator if you had to call.
Well, I think what I wanted to build this for a long time, Dominic, but now with AI, if we just had the content and then we had the AI analyze for the scripts, and then you could have a chat bot, somebody could come in and ask a question, and then it would say, you need to see this video. This is the person you need to talk to. And so
Fantastic.
and I think that Emerald's the kind of person who's getting these questions. And then she finds out the answer, or she sends somebody to get the answer. But this is my experience in my 65 years. If one person in my command asks the question, there's got to be 25 others that need that same answer.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just don't know who they are. So every time somebody asks what sounds like a stupid question, oh, you have training on that damn thing, because there's a bunch of other people out there who got the same stupid question.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, people
Well,
advocate
fantastic.
for themselves.
So what are some of the common questions you get, Emerald? Let's talk about your airman that comes in that's an E5 and's got 2 years left in the thing.
Unfortunately, I get a lot of airmen that come to me when things are already really bad. There's not a whole lot of prevention. I'll set up different briefings and things, and like we had like a TSP briefing recently about the thrift savings plan, and we only had 6 people out of our hundreds of people show up. So it's just everybody's preoccupied, and then they come to me after like their bills are behind, they're not able to pay for their mortgage and things like that, and they'll basically just come to me with like this kind of like catastrophic financial situation. They're either not paying their bills, or they're having to choose between, do I pay gas or do I pay for groceries, kind of situation. And so basically what I'll do is just give them information for like, there's things out there like interest-free loans or grants that they could have available. We try to keep these non-perishable food boxes in our resource center, so that, when they leave my office, I can just give them that. And I remind them like, this is going to help you to offset costs. So if you get these free things, it's going to help you. You can put that money that you would have otherwise spent on groceries into something else, kind of thing. Yeah. And then there's, we're eventually going to get a personal financial counselor in our base too. That's going to help people with like budgeting, and also budgeting how to get out of debt and to build wealth as well. So yeah, finances, it's really the absolute biggest thing, because if you really boil it all down, it's actually kind of like psychology, like making decisions that maybe aren't beneficial to them. And then the childcare situation for the Guard, we don't have a childcare center. So it's not something that you can expect to have available to you. And we do have a decent amount of full-time staff that kind of struggle with that. It's hard for them to, make a living and then also pay so much money for childcare. So I have people asking me about that. There is a service that's like a fee assistance. Not everybody's eligible for it. And so then I'll basically end up talking to them about budgeting and other free services that they can take advantage of, just to help move their money so they can afford the childcare. So finances, childcare.
Emerald, you said something really, really important, and that is that by the time somebody gets to you, the house is already way on fire.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You're not getting it where it's smoldering. You got a 4-alarm fire going on. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would it be, last Wednesday, I had lunch with a 2-star general and I had his undivided attention for an hour. And I'm making a presentation at Cal Ingus on Saturday, and I will have many, many people come up and want to talk to me. Would it be in our best interest to create a leadership training program so that, and we would target it at command, NCOs, and peers, so people could see in their command a problem and somebody who needs to get referral? This is somehow this is a personal issue that you need to. It's not a discipline issue. You think you're seeing a discipline issue, but you're really seeing somebody who's distracted because they got a fire going on over here they won't tell you about because it's embarrassing. They don't actually know it's a fire, or whatever is going on. So we could train them in what to look for and then who to talk to. In other words, if all of your senior NCOs knew the trouble signs and then they knew where your offices were, and you got kids months earlier than a 4-alarm fire, would that be a good thing?
Of course, yeah. No, of course it would be a really great thing to have commander backing. Is always wonderful. It can be challenging. Like I have a mandatory briefing that I have to provide to new commanders, and that alone is like them finding time to hear, about what my office does is kind of difficult to kind of pencil in. But yeah, it's gonna have to take priority. And I know there's been multiple things done, to try to prevent this thing. Like there's a whole, I don't know about every single branch. I think it's mandatory for every branch now, but there's like a financial literacy curriculum that's actually supposed to be, it's mandatory. I think it's by law that they're supposed to complete it. But what it's turned into is, instead of a financial counselor providing this briefing about whatever touch point, whether the birth of a new child, marriage, divorce, and as that pertains to like their financial situation, now they can take a computer-based training on it. And people, I don't know, it's good, it's great information, it could be helpful, but are they actually going to do it? Is it actually they're gonna like learn something and they're gonna prevent, this financial catastrophe in the future? That's a challenge. But finding a way to better educate our commanders and help them to carve out time to prioritize supporting service members in their personal lives, I think would be helpful. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. I do the best I can from my end of things, but yes, from the top down, that's how things move for sure. So if we can figure out how to do that, that would be effective.
I know how we get it done. And in fact, might turn over my head what to do about it. But what you need to do is make this sentence: the goal is a combat ready force supported by families whose quality of life reflects the high standards and pride of the nation they defend. And that's right out of the DOD from 2022. If you make that part of a captain's rating report, then it gets done. And so that's we all know that, right? If you put it in for fitness reports, especially with senior NCOs and mid company to field grade officers, the junior NCOs and junior officers, they're just trying to find out where their hands go. But it's that middle part that we need to take it. Dominic's like, yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're in a different position, Emerald. We're talking to you. You can't say some of these things because, well, you're in the party. We're outside the party. That's why I'm just testing some ideas. So command education and making a command priority would be helpful in funneling some kids to you so you could give them information. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Right. And it really does come down to managing their lives, doesn't it?
Yeah, I always I have a little saying personal readiness is mission readiness. Because it's like, oh, let's care about everybody and their feelings and how they're doing. And it's just like, no, if they're not good at home, it's going to be a problem because it will turn up at work. It absolutely will, especially like financial issues and things like that. It could show up in the form of like a security clearance issue. And the commanders know that. It's just, yeah, there just needs to be like maybe more emphasis on it from the leadership. So, and if there's emphasis on it with their piece, from a leadership perspective, I guess, then people will start turning up to, different briefings and things that people try to put on, or educational fairs, information fairs. I don't know. We definitely got to try something though. Something has to be different.
So, what you're saying is that, how do you think this also would reflect, would if you were able to do this, more education for younger people to get there so they're more mission ready personally, would that improve retention? How many people leave the Guard because I can't manage the Guard and my life at the same time?
I've definitely heard that from airmen, saying that like about how stressed out they get before the drill weekend. And it's like, yeah, but like, there's always like, there's the health insurance perspective, the health insurance and then the extra pay, and they're like, yeah, but the stress and the commute and everything like that is just becoming not worth it. I have heard stories like that as well. So, and I know retention is a huge thing. And yeah, it's always a priority. But yeah, diving into like, okay, well, what makes people stay? It is being taken care of, and maybe that means, being mandated to receive the information that's going to be helpful to them. Because I don't think they're getting enough of that.
So
At least that's just my little corner. That's what I'm saying.
I've asked a bunch of questions. Anybody have anyone that will fill in blanks? I got two more.
Go for it, Raymond.
So how many people, and this is my sense too, how many people come and talk to you and you give them lots of information, and just talking to you has made the problem better knowing that you listened to them? That might be a hard one.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope that it's most of the people that come to see me. If I have a useful resource or a piece of information for them, I certainly hope so, and I think it most likely does. I'm kind of in a unique situation where too, like I essentially provide a social service. I do essentially social work. However, I'm not a social worker, and I'm not allowed to provide counseling because I'm not licensed to do that. But you don't need to be to have a nice conversation and to show care and concern for somebody's situation and try to kind of dive into what is going on so that you can kind of curate like a little plan for them. And I always tell people like, there's so much like I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not like a specialist in anything really, but I guess I specialize in finding who is. And I think that's helpful. Even when, okay, yeah, I could be like, yeah, you can Google that, you could kind of send somebody off like that, right? But I think when you're in a very stressful situation, which a lot of people are when they come to you about these kinds of things, it's really hard. It's really hard, and you're like foggy brained, and you just really need that support person to kind of walk you through, do a little warm handover to a resource or organization. So yeah, that's the best part about my job. And so yes, that's my hope that it helps.
So, and do you have any diagnostic tools that you use? In other words, somebody comes in and you sit down and fill this out so I can see where you are.
Yeah. Sometimes I can, depending on the situation, I can kind of do it in my head a little bit, kind of determining what kind of support and how much they'll need. But we do have standardized things as well. So we have a personal readiness inventory. It's something Big Air Force pushed out for us to have members complete when they come into our office with certain issues. And so they'll, on a scale from 1 to 10, put where they're at financially and deployment readiness. And there's like just different topics, and they have to put like where they're at on each of those. And I'll flip it over, and sometimes I'll be like, I know that's a lie, but I have to take it for face value. But sometimes they'll put like maybe deployment readiness 3, and then we have a conversation about it. And I see if I can, move that up for them if possible. And we also, a big one is the people retiring. We recommend they come to us about 2 years out before they plan to retire, separate. And then we have a few different assessments for that, because it's a big life transition. You're no longer being supported by the unit, essentially, not in the way you have been for years. So there's a lot of things connected to the transition assistance program that we provide and take a look at before we give them our briefing. So there's a lot of little things like that out there.
How many are in your wing that you take care of? Do you know?
It's definitely, it's less than 1,000, but keep in mind that's the drill status folks. The full timer is just a few hundred. So yeah, we're pretty small. We're pretty small. And the big unit here too. So like whatever information I receive from you guys, I'm always sharing that with my counterpart, and they have a lot more people, like 3 times as many people as we do in the Guard. So that's what we do. We just cross paths. We'll have a meeting. We just had a meeting today, actually, and we'll share information and hope that it gets out to people and helps somebody. So
That's one of the peculiarities of Air Guard. Is Air Guard actually has ratio of actual full-time employees to let's drill people or reservists is way higher than it is anywhere else. For the air, especially the Air Guard, because you got to maintain all the aircraft they actually own. So
and we have a schoolhouse too. Yeah, everybody's unit's different with what their demand is.
Well, that's all questions I had. If anybody else has anybody?
Anyone else? I always appreciate it because Raymond's always thorough. I always appreciate that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll pepper a little bit more in, but if he's already gonna get you like that, I won't harass you anymore. So with that said, Emerald, we are going to keep moving down our meeting, but we're thankful to have you. If you'd like to stay on, you're more than welcome to. If you have to go, we get that too. But other than that, we're gonna jump right into our committee reports.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yep, of course, thank you. So with that said, external relations, since we already had 29 palms resupply.
So we gave,
really secretaries. Go ahead.
We gave the report of what happened. We picked a date for the next one, which is March 9th.
Right.
And as soon as we finish with the Marine Corps dinner in November, we'll probably hold a meeting in late November just to get things started and coordinated. So
right
there.
Okay. Then with that, like I said, that's secretary report. What do we got?
I don't know if the secretary's on there or not.
Well, I guess
We're having some problems. Sorry.
The dinner is coming along. We have a little less than half of what we need in money. So we need $14,000 to run this dinner. I'm just almost at 7,000 right now.
Got it.
And so we've got a month. There's good news on that. We have had 2 politicians that buy ads. One that bought a quarter page, one bought an 1/8 page. Once the politicians start buying the sponsorships and the thing, you're starting to go down a really path that should make the dinner keep going. So that's good news. But if you know anybody who wants to buy a sponsorship, give a donation, or buy a ticket, please let me know.
We have about 27 tickets left, correct?
We have 24 tickets left, and I'm going to cut off sales to the St. Dimas Lodge. I'm going to talk to Glenn. I was at to talk to Master about putting out one final email blast and then cutting it off probably Friday or maybe Monday.
Okay. So
Since
that's where we are with that.
we have a practice on Monday, I think I'll make it Monday, and then I'm gonna give those tickets to the Diamond Bar Women's Club to sell.
Got it. I'm sure they'll knock that out. Just a few left. I mean, our total number is what, 100, correct?
Yeah, 100 is what we will try to seat.
Right. So we're doing well what we discussed about overselling a little bit, airlining this thing.
Hopefully.
Okay. Wonderful.
Now, do you have an NCO sword?
Do I have an NCO sword?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. You may
Will
be
we need that sword?
you may be the cake cutter this year. I'm not sure I'm gonna have my guy back. I'm still working on it,
Okay. Fantastic.
but we'll let you know.
Yeah. Always good to know ahead of time.
Yeah, so no, we'll
Um,
definitely let you know ahead of time, but you may be our cake cutter. And
Fantastic.
but the script did go out to everyone. Please read your
Yes. I've
portion
already
of
read
it.
over it. Yeah.
And I will pick up the challenge coins and stuff, and we'll have everything ready.
Wonderful.
Cal Ingus, I will be there on Saturday. Cal Ingus is the Enlisted Officers Association of the National Guard. Their conference is this weekend. They invited me to present, so they gave me a half hour in the main ballroom. And that's Josh Baker's one who turned us on to Emerald today. Josh Baker's the president of Cal Ingus. And so he made the introduction to Emerald. He's up and down the state. So hopefully it will tie us into the Guard further.
Even better.
And
Well, even
then
better than with.
I promised a priest, and when you promise a priest, St. Luke's St. Luke's Anglican Church in Laverne at 1808 2nd Avenue is having a prayer and communion for military members and veterans. And the prayer and communion begins at 9 a.m. on Sunday, October 8th. If you have any questions, it's the father's name is David Valentini, David Valentini, and I have his phone number. If anybody would like additional information, I told him we would put that out today at our meeting.
Got it. Okay.
That's
Kind
all
of. Is that our calendar at the same time then?
I can give you the calendar. I can put it up. Hang on.
Wonderful. I know we're talking about secretary report, but at the same time, it seems like we're getting the calendar at the same time with the things that are coming up.
We have a Rotary board meeting. I encourage you to come to that on the 11th, which is next Wednesday. 2026 committee is meeting on the 17th. Your next speaker will be on hopefully prison outreach for veterans, which I think that's going to be interesting. And then I'm still working on getting you. We don't have a meeting on November 1st because it's right before the event, the Marine Corps dinner, and I'm still working on your 15th visitor. So
Got it.
We have one more scheduled.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. Calendar looks solid then. Then all we have is a 4-way test, which Raymond's gonna throw up on the board.
Raymond is as soon as he can find it.
Boom.
I had it up for Mike earlier today. I had it up for him, so I can find it for you.
Well, Glenn already knows I'm gonna call him out, so it doesn't even matter.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Sorry, Glenn. It's coming. It's coming. I know where it is. There it is. All right. Damn it. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I should have been more.
Don't you even worry about it.
Go ahead, Glenn. I guess you're reading it for us.
The test asks the following questions. Of the things we think or say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Glenn. I just wanted to get you in there. Have you say something.
I want to say something about the 4-way test. On the say and do, I do pretty good. On the think part, man, I got a lot of work to do.
You're talking to a Marine here. Think it's hard. I get it.
Understand.
Either way, I will jump into my closing remarks then. Gentlemen, it was a lot of, I was moving and stuff at 7 a.m. But every time I think like, okay, are we making a difference? Just what a fantastic job. I mean, yeah, we were out there. Then obviously we were helping set the Masonic Lodge later. Um, and as Raymond can tell you, the day got more interesting and longer. It didn't have a choice. That's just how it had to work out. And but it does sure feel good to actually drop that food off. And you think about it for a little bit, and you're like, man, oh man, like it's an actual difference, and it's something that we were discussing at the Masonic Lodge, Mike Wallace, Raymond, and I, about you can join politics, you can do all the things you want to do, and that's all fine and dandy. But on that day, we walked in, donated thousands of dollars. We also dropped, gift certificates and about 3 tons of food. And when you look at something like that, you think, man, oh man, that's worth my time. All the stuff, everything, the meetings, all of it. It's like you are going to, like I said earlier, Raymond put it best. You are letting someone not have to worry about their family being taken care of, and what a wonderful feeling that is. They could be going to Germany, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that our service folks are being taken care of, and that's all really that matters. I mean, maybe today already people are eating the food that we delivered, and what a wonderful feeling knowing that we were capable of doing that, and the call to action was so quick, and that feels fantastic to know. So I have people here today that I was talking about. They always saw it on your social media because my company puts it all out there to let everybody know, like, this is something we do. They said, I can't wait for March. I said, I'll get you the date, and then we'll these are people who own their own companies that are going, sure, I'd like my company to be able to donate something to that. So obviously I encourage you guys to do the same, but I know you already are. So what a wonderful job we did this week. And that's enough patting ourselves on the back. We do have March 9th, and we need to figure out like 6 tons of food, because when they send the small truck again and it's 53 feet long, it'd be nice to be a little bit more full than where we were the other day. So either way, it was a great time. I'm glad to have you guys out there. It was absolutely fantastic.
It also gives the students that are doing community service time, gives them the idea of working in charity. And I like that.
Yes, I do agree. Absolutely. Raymond, anything on that?
No, but what I'm hoping is that in a year or so, we can have a delivery go down on the weekends, because what I'm trying to work towards is that the National Guard make the transportation, the Zeus is a transportation battalion.
Right.
They
Right.
make the drill weekend is transporting the food to a food pantry for the Marine Corps.
That'd be perfect.
And then we could get some of those kids to go along on a Saturday, right up at a deuce and a half, or and right out to the base and unload food, to really get out there and get that other part of it, so they can put it together in their heads.
Right. They get all the pieces so they can see it.
Yeah. So that's I think you're absolutely right on that. But if you got business people, man, the other thing about your club is we're way behind on dues with a lot of people. You just lost a member. I think you're going to lose 3 or 4 more. So we need to think about recruiting to keep the number, or, try to get some more people involved in this.
Got it.
Everybody wants to work on it, but they don't, for some reason, being a member isn't as attractive, but we need them.
To the point of what you said before, to the 20% that do it.
20% to 80% of the work, buddy.
That's how it always works. So to us, 20%.
Thank you very much.
So with that said, thank you, folks. It was great. I'll talk to you guys soon.